that this, all of you guys, we're trying to get accredited. And I hope everyone knows that now, but it's a really big deal. And this training, it's absolutely something you have to watch, and you've got to pay attention to these videos. Um, if you hear me say I'm starting a video, I need you to perk up, Zoomers, and watch it, because I've been in every center's classrooms, and I assure you, there are very few who have interactions like they're supposed to have for NECPA and for state. So, what I've done is I've spent days searching for the best videos out there as far as interactions. And you guys got to watch it and embrace it. We've got to start doing this. If you feel silly talking to kids, we'll cover all that later. But we've got to do it. There's no way that we can continue on just babysitting kids. So perk up and pay attention. Some of you do it. All right, let's see if I can find my little controls. This is going to fall under an approach to learning. So in licensing and throughout early childhood, you're going to see an approach to learning everywhere. This is the best approach to learning. This is what all experts say that we should be doing to teach these kids. No matter how much you believe in your own methods, they do not meet up with that, not thousands, hundreds of years of research. And you're going to see that in here. How much has went into our children and how we can produce the smartest, most mentally sound children out there. This is it. And it needs to be something that every center at Kitty Corner is doing. And let me say, if anyone is thinking, I get paid $10 an hour, I'm not going to put all that work in. Let me tell you this: if you'll do it, your classroom and your day will be so much more relaxing. Your behaviors will disappear. And I always like to say there's always one or two, that have some serious issues at home. We've been over trauma trainings. But if you will do what I'm asking you to do, what NECPA is asking you to do, what state is asking you to do, your day's going to get so much better. And getting paid $10 an hour just to hang out with happy kids is going to be more reasonable than being in a classroom with screaming and yelling and running for $10 an hour, right? So try it. And you can't just try it one day. 21 days forms habits. Okay. Why are we doing interaction again? We have actually, the last time we did it was 3 years ago. I started off with a learning through meaningful interactions training. A lot of the CDA candidates have been able to go back and watch that, but you're going to see, those of you that have watched it recently with CDA, some repetitive stuff in here. But we learn through what? Repetition. So, in order to understand how important interactions are, we're going to have to look at the history of childcare, and it's very interesting. Um, Anyone that feels like they don't connect with children enough to have meaningful interactions, I want to encourage you and tell you that children are the greatest things, and if you will just open up your mind. And you guys know, I know I'm looking at some right now that really connect. And it is the greatest relationship. Adults can be shady, right? Children are not. Children are the ones that know exactly what's going on in the world. They see more than adults, believe in more, they're honest, and they will always let you know where you stand, right? They are great. And I'll tell you, school age too. I know we don't have a lot of school agers, but man, those relationships I have formed with school agers are some of the greatest relationships I have in my life right now. So, early 19th century, and if you don't know, because honestly, there was a period where I did not understand. Century is above the years. So if we're talking 19th century, it's the 1800s. Like right now, we're in the 21st century because it's the 2000s. So in the early 1800s, mothers did not really use childcare, but if they did, it was very unregulated. It was throw them all in a room. What they would do is they would strap them to their bodies, and work. And a lot of the times, see this woman with the tent right here? They would just leave their babies there, go work, come in, breastfeed them, put them back down. You see this baby right here hanging out a windowsill. That was also a practice of the early 1800s. It's just so funny that an expert will say this is what you should do, and they did it, and it was putting babies because of the sunlight. They said, and all that such benefits, but OMG. Um, they also left them in factory parking lots. If they worked at the factory, those babies just stayed in the cars during the whole shift. Took them to strangers. There was a lot of 6-year-olds that were watching babies back in this time. The learning focus back in those days, that was mama, school, family, faith, religion. That was it. There was not a whole lot of stuff about interactions. So then, in the late 1800s, Germany, of course, it's always usually countries besides the US that start great things in early childcare. Then the US jumps on board. Just is what it is. Germany started the first kindergarten, okay, and it was child centered for the first time. There was a man with the last name, it was the father of kindergarten, if you've ever heard of him, Froebel. He You're going to see Froebel, and you're going to see what happened to his work. And it was tragic, really. It set us back to the early 1800s when the people of the United States got a hold of it and decided that they knew, what he was trying to do, and changed everything. So we're going to watch this beautiful video. The US did start kindergarten in Los Angeles in 1873, and for all ages at one point after that. And they did model the schools after Froebel at the beginning, but then this happened. Try to get it big.
Friedrich
Sorry. It's not going to get big,
Froebel
sorry.
invented kindergarten, his garden of children, over 170 years ago. His Spielgabe, or play gifts, were the original educational toys and the first child development tools. Froebel developed his ideas about preschool education over a period of 20 years, from 1830 until his death in 1852. He drew his inspiration from the great educator Pestalozzi and other philosophers such as Rousseau and Comenius. Froebel's main contribution was to synthesize ideas from education, science, and philosophy with his own observations of child development. The materials he created were influenced by his studies in architecture and by his important work in the field of crystallography. Mathematics was more than an intellectual pursuit to Froebel. It was the language of the universe. He created toys for children that would allow them to experience the order and beauty of the physical world. Starting with gifts 1 through 6, children experience three-dimensional solids, whole forms of the physical world. With gifts 7 to 9, children experience two-dimensional shapes, the sides of solids, lines, the edges of solids, and points. The cycle of abstraction is completed with gift 10, the framework. This framework is a representation of solids made from points and lines. While this may seem too abstract for young children, the Froebel gifts help children to perceive the geometric building blocks of the world at a time when they're not able to understand them intellectually. Froebel created 3 distinct ways to play with gifts. He named these forms of life, forms of knowledge, and forms of beauty. In forms of life, children are asked to create something from their world using all of the gift pieces. This could be a bed, a house, etc. Adults guide children through forms of knowledge activities in which the child explores mathematical and scientific properties of the gifts. This could involve counting the sides of a cube, discussing the properties of a specific triangle, or discovering the sound a piece makes when it is dropped on the floor. Most types of math equations can also be reasoned out using the gifts. Forms of beauty are abstract designs made with a gift using just two rules. Always use every piece and modify, but never destroy a design. It is important not to dictate designs, but allow the child to create. If a child wants to make something new, he must find a way to modify an existing design in stages to arrive at the new concept. By playing with Froebel's gifts, a child builds a foundation of symbolic learning by internalizing these experiences. This is a natural process for every child. Froebel only sought to refine it. Why leave such an important activity to chance, he thought, when a prepared environment will better nurture a child's growing brain. In Froebel's Garden of Children, adults help children to explore the world in a concrete way, many years before they will understand an abstract discussion of art, nature, or geometry. The gifts were just one part of his total system, which also included songs and movement games, gardening, and the craft activities he called occupations. These various activities reinforced ideas for the five senses: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, etc. Froebel realized that an infant's brain is still forming. He concentrated his efforts on children from birth to age 7. In Froebel's time, this was considered foolish, but he intuitively understood the mechanisms of the infant brain over 150 years before science could confirm it. Next, he understood that a child's desire for play was nature's way to help stimulate the brain to grow. The true nature of a child is that he is sincerely trying to make sense of the universe by exploring it. It only seems natural that the parent would give the child experiences designed for this purpose. Play is the engine that powers education. Froebel used many materials in his schools, but he only wrote about the first 7 gifts. His followers expanded the list to include materials he used in his kindergarten but never described in his writings. Because of this, the number of gifts has ranged from 10 to 20 different items. Almost immediately after his death in 1852, his followers spread to other countries and began to teach about the kindergarten. England played an early role in establishing English language kindergartens. The book by Johann and Bertha Range, A Practical Guide to the English Kindergarten, was the first guide to the Froebel gifts in English, published in 1863. In the United States, the Milton Bradley Company published Edward Beebe's book, The Paradise of Childhood, in 1869. This book listed 20 gifts. Actually, half of these should have been called occupations. The difference being that a gift can be returned to its original form, while an occupation craft activity such as painting or folding paper cannot be undone. It was good business to have more gifts, so Milton Bradley encouraged many variations on the gifts. He even placed alphabet letters on the blocks, which is completely against Froebel's plan. Next came Maria Krauss Bolte's Kindergarten Guide. She outlined 13 gifts in Volume 1 and 11 occupations in Volume 2. The extra numbers came from the various versions of Gift 8, connected slat, straight sticks, curved sticks. In 1882, Hermann Goldammer's German language book, The Kindergarten, was published in English. The main contribution by Goldammer was the inclusion of the curvilinear gift he called 5B. He correctly understood that Froebel had not intended the gift series to be closed, but to function along certain parameters. Elizabeth Harrison's book, The Kindergarten Building Gifts, promoted the curvilinear series developed by Bell Woodson and used in the Chicago Kindergarten College. The simplicity of the gifts and confusion about them led to their misuse as busy work or simply as manipulatives. Many kindergarten teachers use the gifts by rote, dictating their use to the 4- and 5-year-olds in their care. It was the ignorance and rigid adherence to incorrect techniques that ultimately contributed to the abandonment of the Froebel kindergarten. Today, Froebel is mostly known for his effect on modern art and architecture through the work of Frank Lloyd Wright or Buckminster Fuller. The educators of the early 20th century saw Froebel's work as part of learning. Play is the heart of Froebel's system. Children construct their understanding of the world through direct experiences. Humans are creative beings who can visualize new ways of living. Froebel wanted children to see the interconnectedness of all creation. We need Froebel's method now for our technological world.
Isn't that something? So he had it figured out, and then someone in Chicago got a hold of it and turned all of his genius ideas of teaching children into sit down at the table and do this with that toy. And it was lost. The US got a hold of it, and we're still seeing the effects now. We're still seeing rote learning, shallow surface learning, where we can change everything if we just let go. You'll see it, let go and let NECPA. NECPA is this. NECPA is Froebel. Um, we're just still seeing it. And even though research over and over and over again tells us what we should be doing with kids, that Chicago school is still influencing us, even though it was, late 1800s. Okay. So back
Hey,
in those
Jen,
times, yes,
could you
that
make a
scared me a bit.
copy? Could you make a copy of what they were saying about like how to the different plays?
From the video,
Yeah, and we could put that in like all of the classrooms.
yes, let me write that down right now.
100 miles. He's 100 miles away.
Who?
On Dingle.
Hey, somebody needs to mute. Zoom's always fun. Okay, Melissa, yes, ma'am. I will go through that video and make a sheet, and we can talk about later exactly what you're thinking. All right, guys. So back then
If
it
you would
was
like additional
play and hands-on. And then it came over the United States, and the United States messed it up. Okay, early 20th century. Which is going to be 1900s, what we're all familiar with, or what I'm familiar with, and a lot of you guys. I guess some of you guys are just 2000s, eh? Raise your hand if you were born 2000 and beyond. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is great. I love this. Okay, so back in the olden 1900s, girls, Britain used to say, I know I've said this before, Mama, back in the olden days in the 1980s, why was the world when in the 1980s was the world still black and white? Because here, see the pictures, he thought the entire universe was black and white. So by 1898, day nurseries started. This gets interesting. So nurseries were discouraged, okay, and they tried to give mamas money, the government did, to just keep their children at home. So only the very poor attended day nurseries, sent their kids there instead of the car, so that's good. You can see some pictures of day nurseries. We're going to listen to this little clip about how they learned at day nurseries.
How did the children spend their time? The little ones had toys, dolls,
No, we're not.
swings, and balls. The older ones were given special instruction to equip them for their station in life. All the children of suitable age are employed by turns in performing different portions of housework under the eye of the matron, thus affording them an excellent opportunity of becoming fitted for servants or future housekeepers. Sewing was usually taught to the girls as a suitable occupation for poor families. These were the days of spare the rod and spoil the child. The quote was still so misunderstood during these times. These were days of sternness and repression. These children, who, like all children, were born insatiably restless, longing to run and jump, wonder and dream and imagine, to look and to make. However, they marched to and fro in line and ate their meals in silence. Moral precepts were very important. In the nursery, tickets were given for punctuality, good behavior, and proper performance of duties. These were redeemable for articles of clothing. In other words, children were paid for being good.
So that was what we were seeing, okay? And then in the 20s, child psychology finally, rather than a witch thing, that back then anything psychological was weird and evil. They just didn't understand the brain. Well, finally, child psychology became respected as social work began. Women were going in working with people. Okay. After the closing of day nurseries for the poor, the rich then began sending their children to nursery schools. So that the government, it's so interesting, the pattern. Government in this 1898 to whatever, they were paying women to stay home. All right. And then about mid 30s, something like that, the rich started sending their children. Then in the 40s, the government started funding nursery schools for low income. You know what's coming, probably. It was Head Start. Okay. I need this little guy. Okay. So in the 1950s, research boomed. Everything started to change. We discovered that 0 to 5, even though Froebel knew all this stuff, and he was so insightful and so funny to me that they proved it 150 years later. That's something to think about. So 0 to 5 was important. Education of the whole child, not just reading and writing. Not, this is where the whole child, what they mean is like the social emotional development ties in with the cognitive development, and everything is relative. We started to understand that. First licensing system was developed in 58. Quality was super low though, because they didn't hardly pay anything. There were no benefits. But President Johnson came in, through support to the government for Head Start. Then middle and upper classes, again in the 60s, they went back to it, started paying those mamas to keep their babies at home. And this was also that, you see this. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was education at Head Start, the lady I worked with, she abandoned the 0 to 3 program. And the reason why was research always says 0 to 3, baby needs to be home with mama. So the government, no matter what the opinions were, that's what that came from, trying to pay moms, stay home with your kids, raise good citizens of America. So from this time forward, people in the know that, educated themselves, trained themselves like y'all are doing, they knew that social and emotional development was just as important as cognitive. They knew interactions and play and child-centered programs were the way to go. However, you know how it goes. This information doesn't reach everyone. And you always have someone else, like legislators, these people that make these rules for our public schools. And we can't go there. That's a whole other training. But no, we have childcare today. Montessori, HighScope, Reggio, Waldorf, Ascend, all of those curriculums and child influencers, most of those are just completely based off Froebel, so we've brought him back. He's back. Then you have programs, the three big types of programs right now. You have all those grouped together. It's all child interests and process focused, like Froebel. Then you have parent cooperatives. So that's going to be more like Head Start. It's the parents pretty much run the program. Then you have your theme-based programs where it's very curriculum-based, and the program gets to say, hey, we want to focus on this. We want to focus on this. Then they buy their curriculum. It's very much product-focused, teacher-led. But with all of these programs and all of Tennessee's programs, we are now required and mandated to teach what? Interaction. You see it everywhere all the time. So no matter what your program is, interactions is where it comes from. So now we're going back, trying to tie it all back into interaction. You saw the different ways people taught kids. Now we're here. And we are going to bring Froebel back to life. And we're going to look at, this was so interesting for me. I wanted you guys to see it. Synonyms for interaction, guys. You're engaging with the kids, you're mingling, you're discussing, communicating, socializing. That's what interaction is. Okay, those are the synonyms. Now let's look at the antonyms. Oh, how'd that happen? Okay. Antonyms. You are ignoring, you're disengaging, you're disconnecting, shunning, withdrawing. Those are what the antonyms, the opposite of interaction is. Even if you think I'm not doing those things, that's what it looks like. Non-interactive relationships. Hey, y'all know it. I know it at my home. If my husband's not interacting with me for whatever reason, this is what I feel. I mean, think about your closest relationships. So kids do feel that when we're not showing them interaction. Okay, we've went over this a lot, but you have to, this is part of interaction. So surface learning is not interaction. It would be memorizing key facts and principles. It produces short-term learning, right? So say the ABCs with me, that would be rote surface learning. Then you've got the deep learning, which produces lifelong knowledge in your brain. That's teaching knowledge through meaningful experiences. 3 things you got to have to change a child's brain to deep learning mode and make them remember. It has to be a joyful thing, not sit down, it's time to do this. It has to be meaningful, meaning you're not saying, okay, today we are going to count these popsicle sticks. So that would be surface learning. If you're going into deep learning, it is, hey, I've been watching these children interact, and I've noticed they all love to play with block people. We're going to count the block people today. That's meaningful. And hands-on, right? They're using their hands, they're manipulating it. Now, the deepest learning, which is the offshoot of deep learning, you have to have those 3 things, but you also have to have iterative, which means scientific, asking hows and letting them problem solve it. Like, how do you make sure that this block tower doesn't fall? And they're like, I don't know, let me try this. And then the block tower falls, and you say, well, why don't you try something else? And eventually they know it's got to have a strong base. That would be iterative. And social, which we all have, right? Where it's all social because we're at a child care center. Yes, absolutely. So I'm really bad at chat. I think it has to do with my ADHD, really, and I just can't. If I look at chat, I'm lost. When I come back, I've forgotten what I'm doing. So just keep those coming. Copy and paste them to my text message. And after the training's over, I will go back on Monday and meet all those requests because I'll be putting in credit on Monday. I'll have time. Okay. Fix your schedules, even pre-K. We are bound to best practice because of accreditation, right? So I want to go over some things NECPA is not and things that NECPA is. I think this is a really good summary. Center play. Okay. I've seen a lot. I want to explain this of schedules where it'll say 6 to 8 a.m. free play. And then there might be one time for 20 minutes that the kids get to do free play again. And then 4 to 6 free play. So can anybody tell me what would be the problem with that? 6 to 8 and 4 to 6. Most of the kids are not there during that time. And are you really doing meaningful interactive free play 6 to 8 and 4 to 6? No. So you're going to have to balance that out, because what the state says, and I have the NECPA books too, but I can't quote it. Balanced. All right. So, and when they're talking about balanced, they're not talking about when two kids are there, you are doing all of your curriculum stuff. That's not right. Right. So we're making sure that most of the kids are there when we're doing this playtime, where we are sitting down and going doing this Frobel stuff with them. So we're making sure all the kids are there for curriculum, but we're putting this play at beginning and end like it's nothing. But as I'm showing you right now, it's a big deal. Not just play. I mean, yes, it is play, but you are involved. You're not just standing there while they go play. You are teaching them. All right. Another thing that NECPA is not is back to back to back to back to back, like we just talked about. It's, your free plays here and here, or your center play is here and here. We got to balance it. Stop going back to back to back. Crafts that teachers plan and design. That is something that the teacher is doing. What do the kids get out of it? So, what I've always told people who have parents that want those pretty cutesy things, holidays, or if they request it, do it, send it home with them. There you go, mom. And when you're here, you should be doing stuff. The kids should be doing these crafts, child centered, individualized type of messy, creative work, because they are not getting anything from you making a snowman and then saying put two eyes on it. I mean, it's just, Okay. Oh, one thing I want to talk about big time. Please, everybody, listen, listen, listen. Preparing crafts and activities while children are present. No, you can't do that. Like, we have got to be watching these kids, one, for responsibility or legal reasons. If something were to happen and you're over here laminating, and then we're in trouble big time because you aren't watching the kids. So do not prepare stuff while the kids are there unless they're sleeping. Let go and let NECPA. There it is. It's not just me now. NECPA's saying it too, and the state. Center tags. Here we go. I need my phone. Okay. Center tags. I'm going to show you what it is so I don't have to explain it. But the tags can be color coded tags with Velcro on the back. They could be themed, like Kim monthly theme. Change your tags out for the theme. Neon, so you can keep up with them. Laminated, pouched, however you want. But today we're using these, and this is going to depend on your kiddos. I'd never heard of this, but Debbie, who is our NECPA girl, said a lot of people will use clothespins, okay? And that the reason they'll use them is because if a child loses his center tag, which happens a lot, or they'll take it home, you just grab another clothespin and write their name on it, and there's their tag. Also, it promotes fine motor. This is a huge fine motor skill that children need to be doing before they go into kindergarten. So these are the things. So center tags, once you see this demonstration, you're going to see all of the things that it promotes. It promotes one-to-one correspondence and numeral identification. And the reason it does that, when you make a sheet, a center tag, it says dramatic play. And then it has the number 2 on it. And it's going to have one person stick figure here and one stick figure here. And the kids know they could go in that center if there's not already a clip there. They clip their clip right there. And they get to say, oh, there's one person in here, but the center sign says 2, so I can go in there as well. Subtraction, addition, and comparing. How many spots are left? How many spots are taken? Time management. You're going to see an example of that. Center's full. I want to go in. Okay, we'll put your name on the waiting list and set a timer. Responsibility, keeping up with the tag. Informed decisions, what center should I choose today? That seems small to us, but it's everything to them. Patience, turn taking, and self-regulation. The thing is it also helps teachers. Overcrowding goes away. Reduced behaviors, less competition for materials, easier to monitor. You're meeting the kids where they're at. They are picking the way they're going to learn that day, not you. They are choosing to go in dramatic play. So you're going to be able, Ella Heidel. Kennedy, she thinks I'm coming back in an hour and a half. That's what that's over, if you'll deal with that. So now we're going to do a demonstration. Listen, I have great gifts, and they're all over there, and you're going to get to pick your one. I need 4 children and 1 teacher. Come on, y'all. Come on. Don't make me pick. Thank you. Come on up here and have a seat. I've got to figure out how to get the Zoomers to see it. Four children and 1 teacher. My teacher goes right there. Oh, guys, I don't know about this. Zoom, you might be out of luck. We'll do the best we can, okay? Oh, I have 3. Kennedy, you want to be a teacher or a child? I need, how about this? I need a teacher or a child from y'all. Who's going to do it? Come on, Bianca. Come on, girl. Ashley, you're getting a prize. Okay, Bianca, you're going to be right. Hold on, let me see. I need the one that says get all wiggly. Is that it? It says not effective. Yes. Okay, come on, Bianca. I need you to do that. Okay. So, Bianca, whenever I start reading this book, I want you to know that you can move around, you can stand up and stretch, but still listen to my book, okay? All right. What are you teaching? Come on, teacher. There's your notes. Read your notes. It's simple. This is a first, so it's going to be bad, just to let y'all know. Here's my notes. You. No, you just. Okay, and so, guys, these are centers. We're going to, this would typically be writing center, listening center, but we're just going to do it all at the table. So this is the listening center. That is art. And this is the writing center. Bianca, when you go get to pick a center, you get your writing there, okay? All right.
What's Cozy?
Cozy? Yeah. Did I write cozy?
Yeah.
Just right there. Miss Julie, Nancy. Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm not going over my group time rules because I couldn't print them out in time. So we're going to pretend like I just did that. Hey, guys. We're going to read a book. Do you guys want to read a book today? You want to read a book? Okay. This is called Llama Llama Home with Mama. Do any of you guys ever want to stay home with your mama? Me too. Anna Dubney wrote these words. She's called the author. Llama Llama morning light, feeling yucky, just not right. What do you think, Bianca? How does he look? You think he's mad? Let's see if he's mad, guys. Down to breakfast, tiny sneeze. Sniffle, snuffle, tissues, please. Do we still think he's mad? Yeah? What do you all think, Bianca? What do you think? Is he mad? No. What is he? All right, let's find out. Llama's head is feeling hot. Llama's throat is hurting lots. Has your throat ever hurt?
Are you mad or sick? Yeah, that means we're so sick. Achy fever, stuffy head, llama. Yes, honey.
Yesterday, when I was playing in the blocks, Miss Bianca came over and knocked my tower over.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry that happened. How about this? Let's finish our story, and then at center time, you and I can go talk about it, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Time to rest. No school today. No, not that time. Sit back down. Somebody is being bad.
Well, it was kind of confusing, Mom.
She's gonna hit her. Okay.
No, I'm not.
Time to rest. No school today. Mama Llama brings a tray. Fruity medicine tastes yucky. Llama's throat feels yucky.
Wasn't my plan.
Look around, not much to do. Trucks are boring, tractors too. Make a tunnel for a train, llama, fuzzy brain. Oh. Oh, goodness. Are you okay, baby?
Would you like to go to calm down, Cozy? You have two options. We could go to the table and calm down, or we could go to Cozy Center and calm down. What's best for you? Cozy. All right, let's go to Cozy.
Mama Llama gets a book. Have a listen. Take a look. Okay, so she did not disrupt my circle time. Now, if Kennedy is not my T2, my teacher too, I'm gonna be able to say, you're gonna have to either go to Cozy or sit and let us read this book or whatever. Okay, Bianca, moving around. I'm cool. I'm gonna keep reading my book, all right? If we need to work on Bianca having a fidget or something, that's fine, but we don't have to tell everybody. So after I'm done, I'll say, hey, Bianca, you wanna use this next time? So just don't interrupt this for the ones who can't stay still and need to hit. All right. So, children, we are going to do center times now. You just stay where you are. No, you have to come back. We're going to do center times now. We're going to go over the rules first, okay? I will respect my friend's bubble at all times. You see that bubble? So when our teachers, when our friends have a bubble, we have to, and it's okay to touch them, but you have to have their permission first. If I can't fix a problem, I will ask. I'm right here. Even if I'm working at the table with other children, you can ask. I will remember to clean it up before I leave. We want to take care of our toys. Those are your toys, not mine. Take good care of them. I will choose a center and take turns. So with that, it is center time. I'll call your name and you pick which center you want to go to. How many? Did I do one? Okay, guys, here's your center clips. Bianca, we're going to say right here, okay? Bianca, where would you like to go today? The writing center? Okay. Put your clip right there. And you can write in this book. Okay, where would you like to go today, child two? Art. Okay, you may go to art. Remember our rules. Where would you like to go? Art. Art, and you put your clips on your little art thing. And where would you like to go?
Writing center.
Oh, writing center. Come over here and let's look and see if there's a space. Oh, uh-oh. Bianca is already in writing center. Bianca, how long do you think you need to be in writing center today? Say 10 minutes. Okay, so what we'll do, you can write your name on the waiting list. And everyone, the gift bags have waiting lists and timers in them. And we are going to set this to 10 minutes, and you can go be wherever you want. Here's your clip. When the timer goes off, you can go to writing center, okay? Okay. All right, so, okay, at this point, everyone is in their centers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call back. We won't act this out, but
I'm gonna have a seat right here where I can see everybody. I'm gonna call back my two children that are struggling with what we're covering in the lesson plans this week, all right? So I've got groups. I've got 3 groups of kids, 2, 4, and 5. 5 has everything on that lesson plan and in the curriculum down pat. So I can even scaffold up for those kids when it's their group time. But 2 of the kids I'm calling first are really struggling with whatever skill it is that we're covering on the lesson plan. So I can change that up and make it to where they're learning and start building them to where they can finally get to where those 5-year-olds are. Okay. Spring cleanup. You're going to give 3 transition warnings if you do best practice like this lady says. Let's watch
Throughout
it.
the day, we encounter many times that we need to follow a similar routine in order to achieve a comfortable classroom. So one of those instances is cleaning up our room after playtime or after a lesson. So I like to teach my students how to clean up a room from the first day of class. What we need to do is we teach it in 4 steps. So the first step is, as the students are playing, I give them a warning. I say, you have 5 minutes until we need to clean up our room. And they'll keep playing and they will know that, oh, it's okay. I have 5 minutes to finish what I'm doing. And then after a while, I will give them another warning. You have 3 minutes until we clean up our toys. And they'll keep playing and they'll start realizing, oh, I need to finish up. And then I'll give them their 1-minute warning. You have 1 minute until we clean up our toys. And they'll start realizing, all right, I gotta be done. I have to be calm. I can be done. And then I will stop and I will go and turn on a song. I turn on a song because it is a specific amount of time, usually about 2.5, 3 minutes. And the music in the song gives children cues as to how much time they have left to pick up. So I'll turn on my song and the children will know to start picking up and putting away their toys back on the shelf. First, they take care of themselves. They clean up their toys and their area, and then they go and they help others clean up their space. After that, I have the children have a designated spot when they're all done cleaning that they meet me, which is usually my rug. I have a rug they sit on, and they sit down and they cross their legs and they wait. While they're cleaning up, I'm giving them praise. I'm telling them, good job. This looks nice and clean. And so then they all know when they're done, they can go sit on their rug until I am ready and the song is over. When the song is over, I join them. I tell them, thank you for cleaning up. Our room looks nice. You took
Nice. So that is going to take 21 days. You can't do that just one day and then it works. You're going to have to do it for 21 days straight. Now, this is you have to interact between you and your other staff, all right? Solve things like an adult out loud so the kids see it. Even if you're alone, man, I feel so stressed. I really want to hit something, but I'm going to go to Cozy and calm down, even as an adult, because they're modeling that. And like with Kennedy, we're co-teachers in a room, I'm going to say,
So I'm so stressed. Wait, we can take deep breaths and that'll help my stress.
And even working stuff out, like, Kennedy, I have a problem and I can't solve it. And you guys go and step through step. What you want the kids to do, act out with your teacher, and you know they're going to do it.
Yeah, that's actually called what we called in ABA shaping a behavior.
Shaping a behavior.
And we shaped it to what we want, like little cues of like, you know, what we wanted the kids to do, and we shaped it. We showed them how to do it, I think.
Okay. Y'all need to give away something.
Okay.
Interaction at meals. We always talk at meals. Always. Use things like the carrot is crunchy. This mango reminds me of a peach. What do you like about the burrito? Yes, the strawberry is juicy, and then add on words. Somebody says it's juicy. Oh, it's sweet and juicy because it's a fruit.
You want me to give a basket?
Yeah.
The pink one?
So ages 6 weeks to 2 years. I want to cover this because we still have a couple classrooms, I think, that have those bucket seats where kids go down in. And not every class that has them, but one class in particular, I've noticed that sometimes we sit at that table for 20 minutes waiting on food. We can't do that. So that is called a restraining device. I mean, it's just like bouncy seats and it's like high chairs. There are now rules about that. And when you have to tend to another child, yes, you're going to use it. If you got to go change a diaper and this is a non-mobile baby, then you're going to put that baby in the bouncer. But within 15 minutes, you're going to get that baby out of the bouncer because that's what the state rule says. It's a violation to leave children in devices where they can't get out. They should be sitting in those tables when food is brought to the classroom or if they're engaged with an activity they enjoy. However, if you have regular tables, there should always be chairs down so a child can get a puzzle and bring it to the table. You don't have to leave all your chairs down, but always leave some. That's a play center. That's a learning center. If you take away those chairs, then the chances to teach at a table go away. In their crib or mat, this is the licensing 5 minutes unhappy, 10 minutes happy thing. Y'all all know that. Okay, we have 2 more videos and then I'm going to let y'all go. This is correct interaction with an infant. You might feel silly, but you got to do it.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round. Sing it, Maddie. Bus go round and round.
1:30. 1. Doop, 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 doop. All right, here we go.
See mommy and daddy? Mama. Kaylin, where's your mommy and daddy? Where are they? There's Cameron's. There's Caitlin's mommy and daddy. And Caitlin. Mommy and daddy.
Where's the heart? Julia. Where's the heart at? Do you know? Look. See the rainbow of colors? And look, Luca, is that a grandma? Is that a grandma? Yeah. And there's Luca. And there's Ian.
Okay. This video, if you take care of children over age 1.5 or 2, everybody focus on this video. Everybody keep your eyes and ears open. This is the end of the training, so
Yeah,
it's a big one. Big deal.
Okay, so do we need more triangles?
No. There's only 2.
Okay, so do I put them on the edges like this?
No.
Where does it go?
Those and that go on the top of the garage.
Oh, so like the roof of the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. How are we going to get them to stay? What do you think we need to do?
We built a big cube.
We build a big cube. What are we going to use to do that? You're going to have to show me what that looks like. You need me to hold that for you? How are you going to get it to stay?
It looks like that.
Okay, so how many sizes does it have?
4.
Okay. You need me to help you with that? Miss Andy's going to find some stuff to build a cube. What are you making, Taylor? Oh my. Is it good? Oh, we lost the side.
I think we need that piece.
You think we need that piece? Where does it need to go?
Maybe right on the side.
On the side over here? Yeah? Oh, you know what? I just heard Mrs. Peterson say it's your turn. What is she doing over there that it would be your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. He must have been excited to have his turn, Sierra. What do you think about this garage? What can we do here? Ooh, she drew a picture. I like this. This is your plan? She drew a picture. Did you see what it was? What did she draw a picture of? Did you see it? What was it?
I don't know.
You didn't see it? Andy, what did you draw a picture of? I think she has a plan and she's trying to show us how to do it. I'm still trying to decide what she wants to do with these. What do you think we could do with these triangles for this garage? Well, what would you do with them? Can you show me?
I want that.
Which ones are you going to use? All of them? Or just some of them? She would use some of them? Okay. So we'll sort them out for Andy. Are you going to help her build it? And you're going to let her decide how she wants to do it? Or are you going to give her some ideas too?
Okay. That's what I'm gonna want.
Okay, so tell me about this. This is your cube?
Yes. And those are the top.
Okay,
See,
so
that's how it
this is like this right here? No. Are these?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So you're gonna have to show me how we're gonna make that. What pieces do we need? And then I can help you put them together. Because I can see you have a plan. She's adding something to it. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, okay. This is a good plan. It almost reminds me of like a map, like you're drawing a picture of what you're actually going to make. It's like blueprints.
Yes, it's a blueprint.
So, if this is these, we need more blocks to make this?
Yeah.
What kind of blocks are we going to use to do that? We got a lot of choices. We have little blocks, foam blocks, cardboard blocks. Those, okay. So can you show me where you're going to put those to do this?
I'm gonna draw.
Ooh, she's making an example. Are we going to need a lot of those, Andy? Is this something that me and Sierra could help you with? Think we're going to need to get more? I don't think one's probably going to be enough. So we're going to use these to make it taller? Oh, I can see it there. That's the size it is.
Did you try make that lady? I wanted you to see her. So that's what we mean. So listen, this is what the goal is. You do what I did, right? At that circle, dismissing. You sit, we're doing 2 teachers right now. I come to my table, I call my groups, I do my curriculum, and I do my lesson plan with my groups. And then my teacher 2, does this kind of learning in the groups, okay? If you're one teacher, you do your groups, your 3 groups, you close up your curriculum stuff, and you go for 10, 15 minutes, however longer, and do what that lady did. That we are hitting them on both levels. We're teaching them to sit and finish a project and do our curriculum and learn our kindergarten stuff. And then we're also including deep learning. We're doing both worlds there, and that is high quality stuff. And if you start this in your classroom, even though you're sitting here going, I am not a certified teacher, I promise you, your job is going to be so much easier, guys. Those kids will respect you and you'll respect them back. And that's all I have. Thank you. And Zoom.